Have you ever heard of the thorny skate?
I have, actually.
Well, they live in the North Atlantic, and they've got this kind of strange thing about them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, see, they come in two sizes.
Versatile.
And for like almost 100 years, scientists have been trying to figure out why.
Really? I didn't realize it had been a mystery for so long.
Yeah, and it's been a real head scratcher.
So like big and small, or?
Yeah, like you get big ones and small ones, and it's not like males are one size and females are another, you know.
Oh, wow. That's really strange. So it's like two distinct forms then.
Exactly, and it's not even like they're found everywhere. This two-size thing is mostly along the North American coast, from like South Carolina all the way up to the Arctic.
Well, that right there seems like a pretty big clue.
Right. And the thing is, thorny skates have been in a lot of trouble population-wise for a while now.
Oh, I see. Overfishing.
Yeah, probably. They put a fishing ban in place in the U.S. back in 2003, hoping they'd bounce back like the barn door skate did.
Right. Barn door skates have made a pretty remarkable recovery.
But not the thorny skates. Some areas have seen their numbers drop like 80 to 95%.
Wow, so like in the Gulf of Maine, for instance.
Exactly, and off the Scotian shelf, too.
Huh, that's worrying. So what's the latest on this size mystery? Have they figured it out yet?
Well, that's what we're diving into today. There's this new study just came out in Nature Communications, and it looks like they've finally cracked the code.
Interesting. What was the key to the breakthrough?
Well, for a long time, scientists were looking at short DNA sequences, trying to find something that explained the size difference.
But that didn't really pan out.
Nope. Gavin Naylor, one of the researchers on this new study, he said it best. He was like, the big forms are twice the size, and it takes them 11 years to reach adulthood. The small forms are mature by the time they're 6 years old. There's gotta be genetic differences.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Such big differences in size and how long it takes them to grow up. There's got to be something in their genes, right?
Right. So Naylor and his team, they decided to take a much broader approach. They used this technique called gene capture, where they could analyze thousands of DNA sequences across the whole genome.
Oh, wow. So they weren't just looking at little snippets anymore.
Exactly. They wanted the whole picture.
Smart move.
And they gathered over 600 tissue samples from thorny states all over the Northern Hemisphere.
That's impressive.
Yeah, a real global effort.
Must have taken them forever to collect all that.
It did. And just when they were ready to really get going in the lab, COVID hit.
Oh, no. I bet that threw a wrench in the works.
Big time. But one of the researchers, Shannon Corrigan, she came up with this, I guess you could call it a salvage mission.
A salvage mission. What'd they do?
Well, they couldn't do all the gene capture work they'd planned.
Right, with the labs all shut down.
So instead, they decided to just sequence the whole genome of a handful of skates, like 4 or 5.
That's risky.
Yeah, Naylor even called it a Hail Mary.
But a brilliant one, it seems. They got lucky.
They did. So picture this. Pierre Lesturgy, the lead author of the study, he's going through this huge amount of data, right?
Billions of base pairs, yeah.
2.5 billion to be exact.
Wow.
And he finds this weird spot on chromosome 2.
A weird spot? Like what?
He thought it might have been an error, like a sequencing mistake, and almost tossed it out.
Oh, that was a close one.
I know, right? But then Naylor took a look, and he recognized it as a potential gene inversion.
So a chunk of DNA that's flipped around.
Yep. And guess what? Only the large thorny skates had this flipped sequence.
No way.
Well,
so that was it. The answer they've been searching for all these years.
Exactly. So we finally know what makes some thorny skates big and others small. But now the question is, what do we do with this information?
Right, because knowing the genetics is just the first step, isn't it?
Totally. Like Jeff Kneebone said, the big question has always been, what do the life histories of the two morphs look like? Currently, they're not discriminated in the stock assessment, so a thorny skate is a thorny skate is a thorny skate.
Yeah, if you can't tell them apart, you can't really study them properly, can you?
Nope. And you can't manage them effectively either.
So this discovery could change all that.
It could. Now that they've got this genetic marker, researchers can go back and look at old data, and they can design new studies that actually differentiate between the big and small forms.
And finally start to understand why the thorny skate population is struggling so much.
Exactly. Plus, there's the whole issue of interbreeding.
Yeah. If the two forms are breeding with each other, that could be a factor, right?
It could, especially if their offspring aren't as well adapted.
And if climate change is messing with their habitat, that could be making things even worse.
Absolutely. Like the Gulf of Maine, where they've seen the biggest declines, the water's warming up super fast.
Faster than almost anywhere else in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. And remember what happened to the cod there?
Oh yeah, that was a total disaster.
So is climate change hitting the thorny skates harder than other skates?
That's the million-dollar question.
And is it affecting the big and small forms differently? We just don't know yet. But like Kneebone said, we're trying to use the best available science to make decisions about how to best manage and sustain populations. And this new genetic discovery, that's a huge step towards having that best available science. So what started as a simple question, why are there two sizes of thorny skates, has turned into this much bigger story about genetics, conservation, and the future of a species.
And it really makes you think, doesn't it? If this one little genetic difference can have such a big impact, what other hidden factors are out there shaping the fate of other creatures in our changing world?
It's a reminder that we still have so much to learn about the natural world and that even the smallest discoveries can have huge implications. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the thorny skate. We'll be back next time with another fascinating story from the cutting edge of science.